All right, everybody. Usually when I start this show, I like to say, hey, follow us on our YouTube, Instagram. We've got some extra videos coming up on our YouTube. And I say thank you to everybody. And then I start the introduction for our guest today. But today, I've got a question to ask my producer, Mr. Peyton. And Peyton, that question is, why do you hate me? Why? Did I do something bad to you?
No, it's just you radiate like hateful energy.
Yeah?
It's just easy.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
easy to hate you.
Oh, really?
That's all. Yeah.
I just radiate it
You
for
just
no reason.
radiate out of you. You got a punchable face.
Oh.
All right.
I
You
have
know?
a punchable face?
I mean, I'm not denying that I don't, but look, you and me are kind of in the same ballpark here.
Whoa.
Where we both just kind of look like victims.
Excuse me. I look like a victim?
Yeah.
Compared to you?
Yeah, I mean,
Compared to you?
you said it yourself, getting a beer belly here. I mean, where's the Wesam that's like, I'm going to go run up a mountain at 4 a.m.? I haven't seen him in a bit.
You do realize it's taking everything in my body not to hold you down and just put you in a headlock. And if you knew how quickly I could do that, it would be,
I believe you.
It would be terrifying for
Yeah,
you right now.
I know.
I kind of want to do it just to put a certain fear in you for the rest of your life, but I won't do that. Here's why
do
I
it
bring
later.
that up. Here's
Yes,
why I bring
yes.
that. Maybe we'll do it on another episode.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. How quickly I can get you in a headlock.
That would be fun. Just like a sparring match between us, because we all know who would win, and it would just be so funny to watch. And the thing is, I would be so down to like do it. Just promise you won't like kill me or anything.
That's the thing. You're not used to it, and so
You're worried you would kill me.
I would be concerned I would hurt you unintentionally, where you would throw a kick, I would block it, and then, oh no, Peyton's broken his bone. Okay?
All he does is block a kick, and I'm down.
And down.
I'm down. I'm out.
Here's why I bring this up. I'm on my, the PS5 came out earlier this week, and I'm chilling in my bed, and then all of a sudden I get this text message from Peyton said, I pre-ordered mine on Target. Hey, man, what happened to us, like, warning each other?
I wish it was in the scenario where, like, it could have been, like, a coordinated, like, all right, this is when it's coming out. But if your best friend, Jack Dean, was on Twitter, and he's like, oh, shit, retailers are, like, dropping it without warning. Without warning. And I did text you when I was in the process of buying it. It was in my cart.
Wow.
But sadly, and this shouldn't be the case.
Right.
But you replied at, like 10 minutes later. And it's crazy that 10 minutes later was already too late.
Which is way too much. That's not right.
That's not. Sony screwed up real bad with the drop of this. When like they dropped, I got on Target like immediately. Got it in my cart. I got it there. Texted you. Was like, hey, they're out. I got mine, I think. It's bonkers.
It wasn't great at all.
Right.
And I don't understand what's so freaking hard for websites to put you in a waiting room.
Yeah.
Say, hey, if you want to pre-order the PS5, click on this link, and now you are in the waiting room. Keep this page open. This is your line. It'll refresh when you're ready to check out.
Right.
So the actual site doesn't get overwhelmed like what happened.
Yeah.
But guess what? I was able to pre-order it.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was waiting on the show to tell you.
Oh, shit.
And it was kind of miraculous. I'll tell you all the details. But the Best Buy page, it was still in my shopping cart.
Okay.
Wasn't until midnight. And I kept doing it, and finally, boom.
Oh, there you go.
And I got the confirmation number.
Oh, perfect.
So I think that's good. As long as I
Okay.
got the confirmation and everything,
Yes.
that I should be
Okay,
fine.
I'm happy for you now.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
happy as well.
good.
And I got the second controller and the wireless charging station, which is
perfect.
what I wanted.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
get a disk drive or no disk drive?
Disk drive.
I got a disk drive too.
Yeah. Here's why. In case I wanted to play any of my old games.
Yes. We'll see if it's backwards compatible with the discs.
Oh.
I hope it is.
Either way, I have a Blu-ray player, but I don't
Right.
ever use one. That's the thing. Everything is streamed. Here's my concern, though. It's still as fast, though, right? Mm-hmm. Everything's just put on the solid state drive, correct?
Correct. Yeah. No. It's literally $400 if you don't want the disk drive, $500 if you want the disk drive. That's
Okay.
the only difference. And like even on the box, like all of the, not statistics, all of the,
Yeah.
little everything about it is exactly the same, except all that's included now is like Blu-ray
Perfect,
player
perfect,
can play in
perfect.
8K.
Perfect. I'm going to be digitally downloading all my games, and we'll
Yes.
talk more details. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our guest. I don't hate you, but I was kind of like...
No, I know.
Dude, if you knew how, going to each webpage, Target, GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, and just watching the sites just crash, and Twitter being like, what the hell? And then Amazon on top of everything else. Amazon, somebody leaked that demon link that made it where you skip a certain... Yeah, you don't know that?
No.
With Amazon, somebody leaked a link, which if you clicked on it, it took you past the shopping cart. So it would just take you right into your shopping cart, and it's already in there. What? Yeah, it's nuts. And I think...
So people took advantage of that for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And I think our awesome guest just arrived. So let me do a quick intro for him. What's up, Mark? How you doing, man? Ladies and gentlemen, he just came into the studio. I'm going to introduce him real quick. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll go in. He's an author, hilarious comedian, a lover. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Mark Hayes. Welcome. Cool. Yeah, feel free to adjust that. And usually the sweet spot is just under the... Yeah.
Right there.
You know.
They're close one.
Good. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're alive today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, lads.
Yeah,
Dying.
I know.
Oh shit, I forgot I have to talk.
Now, when I had acid reflux and the heartburn, I would start coughing because it would get so high up. I would start having I would feel like having a sore throat. I'm going to throw up. Is that...
I just got fucking burning. I'm starving. And then if I eat, it kills me.
Ooh.
So I'm just like, let's just drink water.
Do you drink a lot of caffeine? Or...
Yeah, a shitload.
Yeah.
That doesn't help, does it?
No, not at all, apparently.
Yeah.
Any type, coffee, caffeine, or alcohol are the worst things to have for that.
And I had to drink last night, so I was like, all right, yeah, it's dumb.
How often do you drink? Because I'm a rare drinker. So
People think I drink a shitload, but it's usually Friday and Saturday.
yeah.
I don't drink during the week.
Okay.
Yeah. But people always assume, they're like, oh, you're drunk the whole time. And I'm like, no. I had a girl get angry at me during the week because she hit me up and she wanted me to go on a fucking date with her. And I was like, nah, not on a Wednesday. Plus my Irish buddy was in town last week, so we drank stupid amounts. And I was like, I can't drink all week. And then she was like, you're messing up if you don't take me on a date. And I was like, I don't do dates. In Ireland, yeah, it just didn't seem appealing. She was like, bring me to dinner, wear a suit. I was like, you've come to the wrong person. Yeah.
Whoa.
She was stupid rich. She was like an heiress.
Huh?
Yeah. Just a random heiress. And because she was like, this is so LA. She hit me up on Instagram, being like, oh, I like your comedy.
Yeah.
And she's like, we should go out. And I was like, all right, cool. She's like, tomorrow night. And I was like, it's Wednesday. She's like, just take me. She started naming out these stupidly expensive restaurants like fucking Maestro's or Dantan. I don't know. I was like, I'm not going there. On a first date, she's tasty, but she also seemed like a bit psycho.
She's tasty. Oh my gosh. Man, what? Okay. You are such an interesting guy to me. And you have to remember, everybody who's listening, side note, we need to change these goddamn mic stands or else I'm going to lose my goddamn mind on the show. And I'm literally this close from snapping just because of everything going on in life. Oh, I don't give a shit how much money we spend. We are buying the best fucking mic stands from now on because it interrupts every goddamn interview because this fucker goes like
really?
that.
I don't mind this one. This one's good.
Of course it is. I don't know you at all. I know you just from social media, and I've seen your stand-up.
Yeah.
That's it. And so from everything of that, I'm like, I need to talk to this guy.
Talk to this dope.
I need to talk to him because the people you encounter are amazing. And your reaction to them, I'm like, I would get along with this guy. First of all, thank you for introducing us to the TikToker Devin Carley.
Oh yeah, he's unreal. He's insane.
Dude, we did a whole show
really?
on him.
Yeah.
A whole show because he is out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
On how he looks at the world or how he thinks he's perceived by the world.
Yeah.
The scenarios he comes up with,
yeah.
man.
I feel like all TikTok is like that. The
Dude.
one thing I will say about that dude, Devin, is that like I took the piss out of him,
Yeah.
and someone tagged him, and he commented. He was like, "Oh, I love this," and I was like, he doesn't seem that attached. So he was into me taking the piss out of him.
All right. So,
That made me think, he's not that bad actually. Maybe he gets it.
maybe he knows what he's doing.
Maybe they're just young and stupid.
Yeah, man. Dude, I don't know. Like
I was young and stupid too.
I'm 33 next month, and I can only imagine if TikTok was around when I was a high school student,
You'd be doing porn on it.
I'd be canceled. Like
You'd be like, "Who wants to see me wank? Watch this, guys. Who wants to see me wank like I'm in the Holocaust?" Do you see those? Like, they're insane.
we did segments on those too, dude.
Jesus Christ.
The 9/11 ones
Oh,
to bring awareness to 9/11.
yeah. One really funny one that fucking still makes me laugh is one girl is like, I got my brother's report card, and I'm going to... Did you see that one? I was like, I got my brother's report card, and I'm going to tell him that he got all A's. Oh, no, that he failed. And she's like, whatever the fuck, Sean. And the guy comes in, and he's like, what's up? She was like, I got your card. You failed everything. He's like, oh, no. And she's like, joking, you got A's. And he's like, you're so funny. And then they start making out.
Oh, that's genius. I think I've seen that one now that you said it. It's such a curveball that you're like, oh, this is comedy gold.
It's unreal. And I was just like, Jesus, that's fucking funny as fuck.
See, I like something like that.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, these people are smart too, because that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. But man, you come across the weirdest people, it seems like. And you attract some of the freaking craziest girls.
Yeah.
I don't know how you like, if I was thinking like, what I would do in his position, I'd always be like, no, bye. Like, I don't have time for this craziness. But you seem to indulge in it a little bit, right?
I feel like, I think because my parents brought me up to be very like polite and not abrasive. I'm always like, all right, is this my fault somehow? I'm like, all right, at what point am I going to say, all right, that's enough. You have to stop. I realize now this is insane. If I'm, it depends. Yeah, I do let it go a while, and then I'm like, all right, now's the time that it goes too far. Like, there was this girl for ages, years, just sending me messages, and she would send me messages like topless, just beating herself up, like just hitting her fucking boobs and shit.
Oh.
Yeah, and she's like, how do I prove my love to you? And just like, I'm just looking at the videos being like, this is insane. And then she started hitting her head off a table.
What?
She's like, do you want me to bleed? Is this how I prove myself to you? And I was just like, this is unreal weird. And then she disappeared, and then she came back. And she just sends me more rambling messages. And then she sent me a video that doesn't disappear. So I put it on my story being like, what the fuck is wrong? Don't do this. And then she just sent me like poems. She was like, I wrote you a love poem. And the poem was basically, why the fuck are you from Ireland? That's not a real place. Be from somewhere else. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a great poem. And then I was like, she just kept sending me weirder and weirder stuff. And I was like, my stalker's gone off the rails. I put that in my story or something. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you think I'm a stalker. I'll never message you again. And I was like, that's how easy. If I just said that years ago, stop being a stalker, you wouldn't be hitting your head off tables and walls. Yeah, so that is weird.
Dude, that's beyond crazy. She's hurting herself for you. Now I don't mean this as an insult.
I agree with you already. I'm not worth it.
Well, you're not like super famous. You're not like super rich. At least I don't think so. It's just such a weird person to zone in on. You're super talented. You're super funny, but like, it's just a weird target to have for a stalker.
They go weird. This dude as well, he keeps writing like fucking long raps comments on every post. And then he's like, I'm your new stalker. And now he just tags me and shit. I'm like, why pick someone fucking good? Pick Brad Pitt. Like, why are you wasting your time on me?
Maybe they think you're accessible because they've gone through all like the A-listers, the C-listers, the D-listers.
They've fallen down to me. My buddy, people will like open up to me too, like way too much. And people are like, my buddy was like, maybe they think you're like an Irish priest and that they can confess shit to you. And that's why, like, this woman used to message me online and she's like, I don't know why I'm messaging you, but I just cheated on my husband.
Huh?
And I wanted to tell someone. And then every time she would do it, she would message me. She'd be like, I did it again. And then one time she's like, I had a threesome. She's disappeared again, so God only knows.
Wow. I'm just stunned, but that's like another level of crazy that I've never even heard of before.
It's just weird. It's just bizarre that they like feel the need to reach out.
I was in a phase before COVID where people would do that. They would start telling me really personal things.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, why is this continuously happening? And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's me. They feel comfortable, so I'll just listen. And if that makes them feel better, cool. But sometimes it was like, hey, man, I just met you. I don't need to know this.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is, all right, you need to calm down a
Yeah.
little bit. Like, you're giving off really weird vibes.
Yeah, I know. If I've never met them, I don't feel as bad. If I did meet them and they started telling me that, I'm like, all right, I can't see you ever again. You're psychotic. Plus, in America, you do overshare feelings way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, as an Irishman, it's uncomfortable.
Mm.
We don't even tell each other, oh, I love you. It'd be like, that's... In Ireland, if I said to my buddies, oh, I really like a girl, they'd be like, that's a bit gay.
To a girl?
Yeah, they're just like, you can't show emotion. You're like, all right, let's be a real man and like men.
Well, you kind of hang out in the Hollywood, West Hollywood area, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little bit, I know there are sane people over there, but that seems to be like the Hollywood really...
Psycho.
Yeah, it's the congregation of when people first move to LA.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
hang out there. And
Yeah.
it's people, starting their dreams, starting their new life, the crazies from other town, just wanting to start anew.
Yeah.
And it's not the best environment to do it in. And I feel
No.
like that's probably another reason why all these crazy people are
Yeah.
around you constantly.
Yeah, it's weird, all right. I do like West Hollywood because something's going on. I always wondered at the start when I first came here, that's why I started writing books. I was just like, all right, I got to write this weird stuff down. And then I was like, I wonder if this will ever stop. And it never stopped. No. So it just keeps on going. Like, there was another time, there was a girl. I seem to like attract heiresses. She was like an heiress to a big fucking fortune. Yeah, it was like insane. Yeah. And then she was just like, she asked me out and I was like, oh yeah, maybe. Like, didn't fucking say anything like concrete. And then the day came and I was like, oh, I can't, I got a show. She was like, oh, go fuck yourself, how dare you, no one stands me up, blah blah blah.
Jesus.
And I was just like, all right, well, I dodged the bullet here.
Yeah.
And then a week later she was like, I'm sorry, I was overreacted, that's my fault. She's like, you should come over to my place, let's have a drink. And I was just out and I was near her place and I knew that like it's a rich building.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's go over, this could be a story. And she's like, I live in the penthouse. So I was like, oh, she must be minted. This could be funny. So I went over there and she was like, just tell the concierge you're coming up to my apartment. So I told him and she was sending me all like provocative stuff too. And I was just like, oh, this will be a good laugh. And I went there and I said her name to the concierge and he was like, oh, does her husband know you're coming? And I was like, huh? And he goes, oh yeah, you didn't know she was married? And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, he doesn't want anyone going up there unless I phone him. He's like, let me call him quick. I was just like, He was like, he's a wrestler. He's like one of those famous wrestlers. He's like,
Shut the fuck up.
he goes, all right.
Like Triple H or somebody
Yeah,
like that.
he
You're
goes,
gonna go fuck Triple H's wife, heiress wife. What?
Yeah, he was like, and I'm just standing in the lobby being like, oh, Jesus, what's happening? He goes, yeah, there was some guy came last week and they got in a brawl here in the lobby. So now my adrenaline's running, being like, oh, fuck, am I going in a fight over some fucking girl I don't even know? And he's like, let me phone her. Let me phone her. And I was like, here, look, I'll just go outside. I don't want to cause that. It was like too nice of a building to be fighting in.
Yeah.
I don't want to get arrested and deported. That's what goes through my head. So then I leave and I message her and I was just like, yeah, your man was on about your husband. What's that about? And she was like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Don't ever stand me up again.
Whoa.
And I was like, wait, what? She goes, yeah, the look on your face was priceless. So I was like, oh, she did all of that to get me back for like not going to meet her for a drink.
What a bitch.
I kind of admired how psychotic. I was like, at least you got the concierge in. I went back to the concierge and I was like, that was funny, good work. And he was like, thank you.
Whoa, dude. That's terrifying.
Yeah, like I was like, thank fuck I didn't go up there.
Could you imagine what would have been even worse? You start dating her and you find this out like a year into the relationship.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, oh no,
Yeah.
you've got your claws into me. You know?
Yeah, I know. Especially when they're worth like, she was worth over $500 million or something. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like, oh, she could easily make me disappear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like full on.
If that concierge was that committed.
Oh yeah. He
Oh,
was fully into it. I was just like, geez, he's sawing me well.
Man.
Looking back at it then, I was just like, yeah, he kind of oversold it, but I didn't know. He was like, he's the kind of guy that'll smash a chair off your head. And I was just like, okay.
All right.
I thought I was coming here for a fun time, but this doesn't seem fun.
It seems though realistic. If I was in your shoes, like this guy's probably seen so much stuff as a concierge in a rich building.
Yeah.
They probably see
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Yeah, big
so I'm
time.
like, I don't really trust this guy.
Yeah, that's what I was like, oh, he's looking out for me.
Yeah. He's on minimum wage. There's no reason for him to lie to me.
And she must have been hiding in the lobby because she was like, the look in your face.
Oh, that.
And then because the lobby was like big and plush and I didn't see anyone in there, so she was hiding somewhere to look at me. And I was like, oh, what a fucking
Or
psycho nut.
what if she was watching it in the security room on the camera? That would have been even.
Yeah,
weird.
there was like she saw it because she was like the look in
Yeah.
your face, and I was just like, all right, you psycho. From sliding into my DMs a week ago to this.
That's a bored person. That's someone who's
rich.
so rich they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They just, I'm going to ruin people's lives. I think that's the only thing to do today.
It was so weird too because on the way over there, she was like sending me nudes and stuff, and I was like, why did she over? They both oversold it a lot. And I was like, all right, good work.
Man. Dude, your books. So I bought Pre-Dumb and Randumb-er. I haven't got Randumb.
Yeah, I got to get onto my publisher. I think they got to print more.
Yeah, it's like really expensive. I didn't want to say anything, but it was like $50, and I'm like, is this a signed edition or something like that? Do you do the audiobooks for them?
No, I haven't done them yet.
Here, I highly suggest that.
Yeah, it's just I know that's going to be so much work. It is like doing a podcast. You're just like, all right. I tried to do like, especially when I'm reading it, I'd have to be fucking put in a boot and just do it. I'll read it. I was doing some reading somewhere, maybe on my podcast, and I kept like just deviating, telling more of the story, and I wasn't reading the book. I was just like telling the story in my own words. I was like, oh shit, this isn't the book.
I think people would really enjoy it.
Yeah, I gotta do it.
Because
People been saying it for
I
years.
hear your voice saying the stuff. And the thing is, if someone didn't know you and they're reading it, they'd be like,
what the fuck is this? Yeah.
These are interesting pauses or period breaks. Like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. Like for my first book, my publisher was like, you got to get it down. I think it was from like 90,000 to 70,000 words. And I was just like, what? They were right because it's a comedy book. You don't want it like a fucking tomb. And is that how you pronounce that word?
Tomb?
Tome?
Yeah, tomb.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was doing it wrong.
You can say Tom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to make you say Tom for the rest of the
Tommy. And so I just started cutting out words. So instead of being like, I went to the bank, I would just say bank. And then instead of going, I went to the bank and then I went to the shop and then I got drunk. I just say bank, shop, drunk. Just to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
And then people were like, what an interesting style. Why did you pick this like beat poetry style?
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, it's just my genius. And I was like, no, I just needed to get rid of fucking 20,000 words.
It is genius. People can check it out. There's, it's Randumb-er, and Pre-dumb.
Pre-dumb before I came.
Which are all great. And if you want to hear the ridiculous stories of them, they're on Amazon and then some other places, right?
All over, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
all
on
over.
Book Soup if you're in West Hollywood.
Cool. We're just going to take a quick break and then we'll just jump back into it. We'll be back. I am so impressed with your podcast because I feel like you take one giant breath and you just do the fucking thing in one breath.
It's unreal gibberish.
Dude, the first time I listened to it, I rewound a few times and I'm like, I think I'm missing something. I wasn't missing anything. It was just your style is so incredible. And I mean that as a compliment. It's totally different from any other podcast, which I love. And the pace is wonderful. I feel like a friend has just came in and was telling me about their insane week. Which is nice.
Yeah. I like, people are like, you should have structure to it. I was like, I can't do structure. It's just me going, all right, what's coming out of my head? I'll black out after it. And I'll just be like, I don't even know what the fuck I said. And then like people will tell me all that. People will text me something. They'll be like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what's that from? And they're like, I'm listening to your podcast. And I was like, really? What one? And then I go, oh, fuck yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, it's just rambling gibberish.
It's incredible, man.
I remember one time I sang for 10 minutes on the intro. I was just like singing a gibberish. I was like, let's see how long I can go. And I did a 10-minute of like, like of that bullshit telling the story.
Was this recently?
No, I think it was one of the older ones.
All right.
And then I was like, I can't do that anymore. You'd have to be a big fan to listen to me sing for 10 minutes.
How often are you in the States?
I'm here all the time. We can't leave now. You can't leave and come back unless you have a fucking green card.
Yeah.
Or a citizenship.
My parents were in Scotland for a year. They were stuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stuck there?
Yeah. They were taking care of a friend's last wishes and last will kind of stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was like, well, we're just going to stay because our visit visa or whatever it is, they extended it. And it's fucking beautiful in Perth, Scotland. So they're like, well, we're staying here for a little bit. I'm like, please do. Don't come to the States. And they were starting to get worried because of the borders, people, closing down and everything. But finally, they were able to come safely, which was great.
Really?
Yeah, they came, we're in September, right?
Yeah.
August.
Oh.
And the flight was half empty. It was all safe. The
Oh, yeah.
airports were like
Dead.
empty.
Yeah.
And it was at the point where airlines are like, we got to start making flights again or we're going to die.
Yeah, I've had one of my Irish friends just left, and I don't think he knows that he might not be able to get back in.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's like, I told him, he's very blasé. He's like, no, I'll be grand. And I was like, I don't think so. My visa lawyer told me, he was like, if you leave, you probably can't get back in. And he posted a picture of himself in Vienna, and I was just like, he could be stuck over there. Because like if you're England, Ireland, European countries, there's so many that the US have closed off. So you're kind of fucked.
Peyton? I don't know what's going to happen. I think we're going to be like this for a while.
Yeah, at least February. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I have another buddy, like a good English friend. He's go to London for work, and he can't get back in now till at least February.
Yeah. No, I think the whole situation is completely screwed until at least, I'm going to say things will start getting back to normal end of the spring.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. I want there to be live shows again for comedians and other stuff.
Yeah.
For actors as well, because not only are the artists suffering, but also the club owners, the people who work at the clubs.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's a whole chain link of people who are just not working.
And like places are shutting down that seem to be. I remember when Swinger shut down, I was like, nah, that can't be true.
The diner?
Oh yeah, that shut down early into it too.
No. How the fuck does that place shut down? Every time I've ever driven by that, it was busy.
I don't know. It shot early, like probably a month in, and it's gone. They were like, I remember a friend told us, and we were like, "Oh, shut up, you idiot! That's not shutting down. It was too early to shut down, and it's gone."
They must have been in debt, or that
Oh, yeah.
rent must have been
Yeah.
through the roof.
Yeah, so I do wonder, like places just be gone, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, that's fucked."
You do this. Sorry, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but there's just so much I want to talk to you about. The live Zoom.
Oh yeah.
How's that been going?
Oh, that's great. That's probably one of the best things about the quarantine. People love it. So do we just go on? I don't like the thought of doing Zoom comedy shows. Like, I won't know if a joke's funny or not through Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
But people were like, you should do something. So I was like, all right, I'll go boozing on Zoom. So people just come on and we booze, just chat, have fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but like it's a whole little community now. Like people became friends out of it.
Oh, nice.
They got each other jobs. They went fucking traveling after meeting on the Zoom.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they had sex through it.
Oh, great. You
Yeah,
got
just all these
little
random
videos of it.
No, people were like, "Oh, I met up with so and so," and yeah, it's weird. I had a guy. He was sending some dick pics on it. He got banned.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just. Yeah, it's a little community, but it's a good laugh. I was like, I'll do it for an hour, and now they're like 4 hours long.
wow.
Yeah, sometimes I'll leave and I'll just keep going like 5 hours, 6 hours. Yeah,
Man,
yeah, it's weird.
that's cool though. You found a way to make some money. It seems like, and
Yeah.
and do something that you love to do. at the
Yeah,
same
and
time.
I've started doing like little small shows here and there. You just can't tell people where they are because the cops will shut them down.
Oh yeah.
But like, I didn't realize that all the big comics are dying to get up. So I did a show recently, and like, Michael Rappaport, Bill Burr.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Was Craig on that one?
yeah.
Yeah. He was just on.
Oh
last week.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's hilarious. Craig. Like next week, Jim Jeffries is on. Yeah, they're all dying to get up.
Dude.
Cause even like, someone texted me something. They were like, that joke about dust and eyelids, and I was like, what are you on about? And they were telling me one of my jokes, and I'm like, oh jeez, it's been so long.
Wow.
Yeah, that like I forget part of my own joke, and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Because from doing it every night to not doing it in like fucking, it was 6 months between my first and last show, or last 2 weeks ago I think, and I was like, oh, that's a 6 month gap.
Yeah.
Let's see if my fucking motor skills kick in, and I remember the jokes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it worked.
I know it's always weird to receive compliments, but I think that just shows how good you are at what you do, at your craft, being able to jump back into it. I think amateur comedians would not be able to do
Yeah.
it because you didn't have enough hours. Put in.
Yeah.
And I've heard some of the other comedians on their shows and everything talk about like, oh, I'm worried about getting back into it. But then some of them have already performed and they talked about it again on their podcast. And they're like, they did one show. They said the one show was a little rough, which I'm sure was still freaking hilarious. But then they're
Yeah.
like, oh, then the second show was like, oh, yeah, I've got this again.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible to watch people who, like Bill Burr. Dude, I was lucky enough to see him live once. And it was like watching a 5th degree black belt.
Oh yeah. He's unreal.
I was just astounded at not only how hard, not just me, everybody was laughing, but the technical aspects of what he was doing and how he like was able to craft certain beats and
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
the audience.
Yeah.
Dude,
Unreal. He's just so comfortable, and he's doing it so long. He's unreal. He'll like lure you in. He's just so comfortable. He knows where he's going.
yeah, man. It was really cool watching a bunch of comedians like that.
Yeah.
It was a really strong show that night. They were doing some benefit. This was like a while ago. I'll tell you more details about it at the break. Yeah, man. I'm going stir crazy. My show got pushed to next spring. I booked a pilot for NBC.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, but they were like, we were 2 days into filming it, and they were like, come back to LA. We were in Jersey. And then everything got shut down.
On the way.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, we're going to push it to next spring after like a month and a half.
Jesus.
And I was like, okay. And I'm just waiting till the spring to hopefully work again. And I'm luckily doing other self-tapes and that kind of stuff and
Yeah.
helping my buddies and doing self-tapes. So I'm still kind of acting and keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
But
It's not the same.
there is nothing like performing.
Oh yeah,
I know it's not the same. Like obviously, I'm not doing stand up, but the aspect of either performing on set or like a theater show.
Yeah. It's yeah. No, that's the thing. You just want to keep the spark alive, so you don't go back and you're like, oh fuck,
Yeah,
it's gone.
it's fun when you're good.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, it just takes time to get there, and then you're like, oh fuck. All right, I feel like comfort is key. Like with Bill Burr, he's so comfortable. Like if the crowd turns on him, he's just like, all right, let me show you exactly what I meant, and then he wins them over. Whereas like if you panic and you're just like, oh Jesus, I didn't mean to say that, you're just like, oh, it's a level of comfort and awareness, because you could also be comfortable and be comfortably dumb up there and just be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's saying.
Oh yeah, he said something like that where everybody, you could feel certain people in the room just go. You just feel that energy, and he's like, "You guys feel that?" Like, he calls it out.
Yeah, that is the key. Like, if you can call out doing comedy, if you can call out something, the audience will relax because they're like, "All right, he's aware." If you're bombing, the audience will like fucking. They'll lose their confidence in you, and then they feel bad, and it just you can't get it back.
Absolutely.
So if you're like, I love silence up there because you're just like, "Oh, this is nice." Like I know what you're listening at least. My whole set, they're just silent. Silent and confused, being like, what's he saying?
I doubt that. Last week I told Craig something, and you nailed it. It's the awareness aspect. Having why these great comedians are so good at what they do and why they're responded to so positively is because of their super awareness on stage. They're completely in the moment.
Yeah.
So the audience has to just completely be in that moment.
Yeah.
And that's where like really cool things happen.
Oh yeah. It's like, and I even heard Bill Burr say this too. Sometimes you'll have like a really good, just say if you're doing a weekend of shows, you'll do like Thursday 2, Friday 2, Saturday 2, Sunday 1 usually. You might have an unreal, say Friday second set might be really good. And then the next set, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to do it just like I did last night. So you're not in the moment. You're trying to like replay it. And it doesn't go as well. And you're just like, oh, fuck, I killed my last set.
Right.
That didn't work. Because you're trying to like just redo it. As opposed to be like, all right, it's a new crowd. Be in the moment. So yeah, if you're like, even the best can fucking lose that fucking, what is it, mindset. They're like, oh, I'd be in the moment. As opposed to like if you try to do the same podcast twice, you're like, oh, that was unreal, the last one with Craig. Let's do the same with Mark. And then we have this awful podcast.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, fuck, I should have been in the moment.
Exactly. Or you're talking about something outside of the podcast and you try to talk about it on the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
I've made that mistake like early on.
Yeah, really?
And I'm like, why isn't this working right now?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
you can't bring it. Yeah, you can't translate it. Yeah, that's a balls. But it's funny.
That's why I was like, let's save it for the show. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I feel so rude sometimes saying it. The people will be like, hey, let's not talk right now.
I know. Because like my buddy wanted to do, I have this like singer buddy, and we were going to do a podcast, and we were like, oh, because we were crying, laughing, telling each other stories, and we were like, we should just do this on a podcast. And straight away I knew if we were to go into the podcast and be like, so you remember that time? It's just like contrived, and it's not going to be as good.
No.
And like I hate the aspect of like if you told me a story and I laughed at it and then you retold it and I'd have to be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I've already just laughed at it, and then you're just fake laughing. You're like, oh, fuck that.
It's like dreams.
Yeah.
Never tell anybody about your fucking dream. Never. That's the rule. I made a rule right now. You never tell anybody about your dreams.
I've been on dates and girls are just telling me about their dreams, and I'm just like, oh, this is awful. I wish I was on my own drunk.
I can't do it anymore. I barely have a filter anymore, and Peyton knows that. My face, I cannot hide my true feeling on my face anymore.
Oh yeah.
On any red carpet or any kind of thing anymore. I can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, that means your brain has snapped.
Oh man, you have no idea. These are the things that drive me crazy. The artificial, the fakeness. I can't deal with fakeness anymore. So with a lot of red carpet things, it was a surprise to me. You know, I was really nervous the first time I was doing them, and then after I realized, like, oh man, nobody knows what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And it's all fake. And the questions they ask, they're just trying to get sound bites.
Yeah.
And it's the same question.
Yeah.
And I can't stand this question. You just wrapped like season 2 of a show. Just wrapped it. And they're like, what can we expect from season 3? Well, I'm the actor. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The creator's down there. You want to ask him if he'll divulge what he's going to do for next season and then ruin the show? Like, what kind of questions, like, what do you think you're going to get? What do you think you're going to get out of this question?
They want you to say something racist. I feel like if they're asking you dumb questions, they're like, all right, someone has to snap. And yeah, I can even tell when you were retelling that story, you were taking out a gun in your head, being like, shut up.
On the flip side, when like a reporter or the journalist actually is good at what they do and they ask you like a really nuanced question you've never heard, oh man, I still remember this reporter. Don't remember her name. Remember she was from Brazil. She asked this question. I was like, thank you so much for asking a good question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they just use their brain. I remember I was on a red carpet one time. My buddy was doing some comedy for MTV, and they brought us both. And they were like, oh, 2 comedians, all right, perfect. And they were interviewing. And then while the girl was like earnestly, fakely, I didn't realize, but I was like, oh, she's interested in what I have to say. Snoop came along. And they were like, she was like mid-question. And she goes, oh, you got to leave. Like, they just cut us off. And publicist just goes, get the fuck out of here. Snoop is here. And I was like, they don't give a fuck.
Dude, if I ever get that famous, like Snoop Dogg famous, and I see my publicist do that, I'd be like, no, actually, let them finish. No, we're not. We're letting them finish. Actually, I'm doing it with them.
Yeah. I'd say looking back on it, they weren't even recording. They were just pretending.
That's happened to me before.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and it's heartbreaking because then I just go, oh, fuck this industry. I don't want to fucking be in this town again. Fuck those interviewers.
Yeah.
And you just want to walk away. You can tell when they're uninterested. You can tell.
Yeah, yeah. That's why stand-up is good, though, because you can, like, anything stupid or bad that happens, you can just translate, oh, this could be a bit.
Oh, my God. You want to know something embarrassing? You want to hear an embarrassing story?
Please.
How I wished I would just leave and, like, I wanted to cry, scream, and hit somebody all at the same time. I was hired, and it was my first and only time doing this, to be a co-host of the Oscars red carpet show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, you said it like, you were like, oh, wow, yo, that's pretty good.
I meant that it was good.
It's not my thing, man. It's definitely not my thing. Because they're like, you're going to do the crowd work and you're going to be talking with people and like interviewing random people. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm here with the crazies who literally waited since morning before I got there to see a celebrity.
Oh.
And it was the most surreal experience of my life. I have an earpiece and they're screaming in my ear.
Really?
Because it's so loud.
Oh, all right, yeah.
And they're like, we're going to you. Make sure you interview this person. And I'm like, I can barely hear my thoughts.
No way, really?
How the hell am I going to interview this crazy person who was excited to see Jennifer Aniston walk in front of them like it's a zoo?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, that is crazy.
They're all from the Midwest. They're super nice, but I've never seen people's eyes glass over whenever they've seen a celebrity like that.
Really?
It's uncomfortable, man. And what happened was my publicist was super cool. She's like, I got you some interviews on the red carpet. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't have anything to plug right now.
Yeah.
What am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
So I was just plugging the show. And then I remember them just being so uninterested. Every single one. They're here to talk to like literal movie stars.
Yeah.
And I'm here like, my podcast is pretty cool. You guys want to check it out? It's on iTunes.
Yeah, you know that's going to the delete.
Oh, I got a good picture out of it on the red carpet.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you just got to get one thing. Because, like, I'll go do it, and then if I go to I hate those, right? Yeah, they're awful. They just, like, they're soul-sucking. But I remember, like, getting a picture, and then some Irish newspaper were like, oh, he was at this event.
Shit. Yeah.
And then it was just like, write an article. Like, perception is key at times, so people think you're doing X, Y, and Z. They're like, oh, he's done this, he's done that. Even though it's fucking awful, it'll like lead to something else
That's true.
eventually.
Yeah.
Or you'll have a shitty story.
We gotta take a quick break, and then we'll be back. We'll jump back into it.
Cool.
Pink shorts.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was on video, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is a bold statement
Very bold. It's confident.
to be showing knees on a podcast.
I think we're framed. Oh no, we're not framed up anymore. I literally see the camera pointing down.
Down to a dick print.
So how long are you in? So you're here for the States for a while
Yeah.
because of the COVID thing, and then what? I'm curious to know what initially brought you to America, specifically LA.
Oh, like to do comedy and writing.
Yeah.
I wanted to do like a sitcom.
Yeah.
And then I was in Ireland. Like I was in I had some meetings in Ireland with the main TV station. And then they were like, who the fuck are you again? Because I wrote a script and they were like, oh, come in and meet us. And then at the time, this is random, I was like a German gun translator for the Irish Navy.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like I've got like a master's in e-business, and I was just like fucking doing that, not knowing what to do. And then I had like a commerce and German degree. So after I finished my master's, I was like, fuck, what now? And my aunt was like, oh, she knew a guy in the Navy, and they bought the Irish Navy bought a load of guns off the German Navy. But the guns were so old, they were literally from like World War II. All the manuals were in German and not online. So they like fucking 6 or 7 of these big thick manuals, big guns that you sat into. And they knew how to work them, but like for their own logistics, they needed someone to translate them. And my aunt was like, do you want to do it? And I was like, no, that sounds awful. And then she told me how much, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. It was like a shitload of money.
Wow.
So I did one, and I was like, it was so tedious. I couldn't get over how boring it was.
Wow.
So I just found people online to do it. So I like subcontracted it. And then I was like, oh, I've got all this free time, I'm going to write a script, because I love Seinfeld and shit and Curb, and I was just watching that. I was like, let me try and write one. So I wrote one, and then I had meetings with TV people. And then they were like, oh, you work fucking for the Navy? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, nah.
What?
So then I was like, all right, fuck you, I'm going to go to LA. That's why.
Whoa, that's so weird. They didn't want you to work.
Yeah, it's a very closed, I don't know, it was weird. You had to be like, oh, you're not in the industry. They're like, come back when you're in the industry.
Oh, dude, I can't do, I can't do a big enough eye roll for that.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So I just moved here like an idiot, but I used that translation money to come here.
Dude, I love that. Ballsy. Just moved to
Oh,
another
yeah.
fucking country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not working out here. I'll go somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
I'll cross the ocean.
I think I was watching The Hills too much too, and I was like, wow, LA looks like fun. Yeah, like, and then I loved America. I used to watch like Sweet Valley High, Baywatch, Showgirls, the movie. And I was
Oh.
like, oh, the American women.
Yeah.
That seems to be better than the Irish women.
Yeah, what are Irish women like?
They're nice people.
Yeah. You don't want to generalize. What are some of them like?
No, it's just in America, like, especially in LA, no matter where else you go, especially except for New York during the day, the women in LA are just like, sweet Jesus Christ. How is there so many hot women everywhere?
I get what you're saying.
Oh, but then you realize, oh my God, what is coming out of her mouth?
Yeah, and that's the problem with me.
Yeah.
That when I first came out here, it was that kind of thing where I can't even concentrate. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like literally, sounds so creepy, and I'm not gonna say it just because everybody's on edge right now. I'll say it. Like any type of woman you want. The same thing for a girl, any type
Yeah.
of guy, or vice versa. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's all here at your fingertips.
yeah.
And it is overwhelming until you start talking to a lot of them, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Some of you are just crazy. Some of you don't know what you want. Some of you, I don't want to be around. I don't know, with age too. I mean, how old are you?
35.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You got to be able to sit down and talk to somebody.
Yeah, I know.
before, I don't have any patience anymore.
Yeah. Plus, it's funny for comedy, but it's also like, I have a bad habit of projecting a personality onto someone.
Oh, like what do you mean?
So, like, if I'm texting a girl, I'll be like, oh, she's like, I'll think the best of someone.
Oh.
So if the conversation, and then I realize, oh, I'm doing a lot of the funny work here. Then I'll meet them in person. I'm just like, oh, she wasn't refreshingly honest. She was just a bitch.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. I'll like definitely project. That's my fault. I'll be like, oh, let's put what I think your personality
Yeah.
is onto you. And then I'll meet them. And I'm just like, oh, you're actually very dull.
Yeah.
I thought you were just being like coy. Stuff like that. Plus, like, the shit women say here in public, Americans in general, or people in LA, like in Ireland, you'd have to be very drunk. You'd have to be fucking in an after party to be honest out loud. Whereas, like, I remember one time on a date, a girl was like, oh, you look like you're into glory holes. And I'm just sitting there in a coffee shop being like, oh, cool. And everyone's just looking at me now. And I'm just like, that's a good... She's like, it's not bad. It's just your vibe.
Whoa, that's so rude on a first date.
Yeah.
Dude, reverse those roles.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And imagine what would happen.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts.
Sometimes I hear these stories and I'm like, oh, if that would have happened to me and I'm in the mindset when I was younger and dating, I would have just gotten up and left. Literally not saying anything, just be like, oh,
Yeah.
I just got up and leave. And she's like, where are you? I left.
The problem is, it goes back to my parents. They were like, they raised me too polite. So I was just like, oh, I must have said something wrong here. My brain goes to, what did I fuck up? How did I do this? So I'll stay and I'll be like, oh, yeah. You know, glory holes, like, they could be good. I don't know. I just won't. Unless I'm drunk and then I just be like, all right, fuck this. See you later. Sober me is too polite.
Yeah.
And that's how I end up like at fucking crack dens or gay orgies or where the fuck I ended up. And I'm just like, there's a lot of dudes here. What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an Irish upbringing, I think.
Well, how long have you been in LA?
Like 10 years now.
Oh, okay. So, and you're still nice. Wow. I envy that. I kind of envy that because I've gotten colder.
Oh, yeah. You should read some books. I would like go. Books have kept me sane here.
Yeah.
A good one is, two good ones that I recommend to everyone is The Road Less Traveled.
Yes.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
And then The Tao of Pooh.
Don't know that one.
Oh, it's unreal. It'll like just make you fucking let shit go. It's about Taoism and then Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like it's really
that's
good.
really funny.
And it's just like, it breaks shit down, like using those characters. And I just remember being like, oh, the main thing I got from it was like, let shit go. Like, you can't control everything.
Mm.
So I'd be like, oh, this motherfucker, that motherfucker. And I'm like, all right, that's them. It's not me. So let them be nuts. And I'll just be me.
That's a great way of living it.
Oh, yeah. I'll read a book sometimes. I'm like, why am I reading this book? And then I'll get one good sentence out of it and it'll stick in my head. And I'm like, all right, that fucking shitty book was worth it after all.
Yeah.
Although I've stopped trying to do that now. I couldn't give up on books before. I felt like it was rude. And I'm like, why am I reading this book?
I'll start skimming.
Yeah. And then, but then, halfway through, I'm like, oh, I like this book. I'll be reading. I think you were messaging me about Murakami. Some of his books, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then at the end, I'll be like, I don't know what was happening, but I liked it.
Sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I was just like, so I'm like, fuck. You just have to finish it, and you'll be like, all right, that was worth it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing a project, I've been trying to, during COVID, I've been like writing fucking 3 books. And I'm just like, do I even like these books? Like, why am I doing this? But it's just me trying to sabotage myself because once they're done, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Finish it through.
Yeah.
Instead of, I could have convinced myself, I should be writing stand-up or doing something else. So I think finishing shit's key. I don't know what the fuck my point is here. I'm rambling with heartburn.
That's so unlike you.
Yeah, I know, yeah. The worst is like when I'm like, where am I going? Then I'll break into song.
Before you break into song, Murakami, he, my friend Isaiah, he loves him, and I got to tell this story to him because I think he'd appreciate it. First of all, one of my favorite stories about Murakami is whenever Isaiah told me he was talking about this like long distance runner or he long distance runs.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wrote a book about it.
Yeah. And he talks about how like at a certain point he looks at himself like just a machine running.
Yeah.
Like he has a third
Oh yeah.
out of body experience. And I was like listening to my friend talk about it. And I was like, holy shit, that's like almost flow state.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, that book's worth a read.
oh, I was like really into it. So we went to Japan, me and my buddy Isaiah and our other friend Jonte. None of us really speak Japanese. Isaiah does just barely any. And he was talking about, I want to go see Murakami's exhibit. They actually recreated like his office space or something
really?
like that. Yeah. And so the whole time he's like, it's something I really want to do, guys. And we're like, okay, man, let's do it. I'm all for it. We'll spend half a day going to this place to do this, like, searching for it. So we took these trains. We're walking around. It takes forever. And finally, we get to this university where it's supposed to be in. And this is towards the end of our trip, and we've been on very little sleep, drinking cups of coffee throughout the day because we're having 16-hour days just experiencing Japan.
Yeah.
And we get to this university, and we start trying to ask people around in our horrible Japanese where what we think is a real exhibit, but fast forward, it doesn't exist.
Really?
They haven't built it yet. And so we're asking people in a language we don't know about something that doesn't exist.
Oh, that's fucking. I hope they sent you to the bathroom. And you were just like, this is a lovely toilet. He's always working here. Wait, that's fucking dumb.
Dude. And not only that, we got one of our friend Jonte. He got so upset with me and Isaiah because his Japanese was horrendous. Okay. And Isaiah's in the middle of trying to talk to this one Japanese dude. And you know how that culture is very polite or whatever.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Jonte is like, sumimasen, kudasai. And like just interrupting and trying to like talk to him too.
Speed. I like the way you all have some Japanese somehow.
Oh, yeah, just like barely.
Yeah, but like, how did you learn it?
We found it in a book,
No way.
like on the internet. And so he was basically saying to him, excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. And it's just like, dude, you're terrifying this Japanese guy right now.
About something that doesn't exist.
He turns around to me and Isaiah, and we're cracking up. We're laughing in front of this Japanese dude. And Jonte's like, yeah, your Japanese isn't any better. And we're like, of course not. So we're roasting him the whole time. And they're leading us to this library where we think it is. We ask the librarian, and in the most Japanese, quietest voice, like she was talking like this. She was like,
Really? No way.
oh, dude, I'm not exaggerating. And we were trying so hard not to cackle. And dude, we looked like complete idiots. And they're like, oh, that doesn't exist.
No way.
It hasn't been built. Yeah.
Jesus.
It was, oh man. It was so wonderful how stupid we looked.
Yeah, that's unbelievably stupid. You didn't Google it?
He did. We were like, we trust you.
No
we
way.
think you know where it exists.
That's a good last.
Oh my gosh. We were pissing ourselves. He was upset for us for like most of the evening for laughing at him. And it was well worth it.
Yeah,
Oh my
here,
gosh.
that's. I don't even know how to fucking react to that. You went looking in Japan. That sounds like a Murakami story.
That's what Isaiah said.
He gone around looking for something that doesn't exist. All the time it existed inside you.
There
And
you
the
go.
book ends and you're like, what the fuck did I just read?
And it was the journey.
These books are a journey though. I can't remember the last one I read. Fuck. I was like, I don't like this book. Halfway through I was like, okay, something's going on. I think I know what's happening. And then the next chapter you're like, who the fuck is this character? What's happening? And then at the end, I was getting towards the end and I was like, this motherfucker isn't going to wrap everything up. And I started getting pissed because I was enjoying it and I knew he wasn't going to leave me satisfied. And then at the end, I was like, that fuck got me again. And I just bought another one of his straight away.
Yeah. It's like a bad TV show.
Yeah.
Where it starts
But he's
off great.
unreal. I remember this publisher told me ages ago, he's like, you should read Murakami. And I trusted him. I was like, all right, this guy's read a lot of books. And then I read one. He told me like, what's the first one I read? A Wild Sheep Chase. He goes, start here.
Okay.
So I read it and I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. And I was like, but I can't articulate why it's so good. And he was like, oh yeah, that's why it's so good. You can't articulate it. And I was like, Yeah, it's weird, alright. Because he's if you think about it, he's very simplistic. I'm reading another book. I can't even remember the name now, but it was lauded. It was like, oh, this guy's a great author, but he'll use like too many words to describe something. Whereas Murakami will just be simple as fuck, and you're just like, oh yeah. I can't even explain it.
You know who's the two most lean comedians in my opinion? Mitch Hedberg, in terms of their jokes. They need every single word to make their joke work.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work. They've cut out all the fat.
Yeah.
Him and Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, two of them. And you know who else? Seinfeld.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen. What's the documentary? I've seen something somewhere, and he's just like. Sometimes you'll have the joke doesn't work until I take out a word, and I'm like, all right, now it works. So he's not. Every single word of his is planned. Where you wouldn't think it, because Mitch Hedberg is just one-liners more or less, and Anthony Jeselnik, you can see too. It's just like every word's, like he knows what he's doing. But with Seinfeld, you wouldn't realize as much. But he's like, sometimes I might say me at the setup, and then me in the punchline, and there's too many me's there. So you got to change it. So he's like every word. Whereas if I go up there, I'll just fucking ramble, and I'm like. I might fucking just tell a joke in a joke by mistake. It still works, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not every word.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the same set twice because I'm just like, oh, let's see if this joke is better with this. So I have too many words. So I'm the kind of author that I hate.
That's why you should do I'm telling you, man, spend like a week and just do them, because I think people would love hearing these things.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I should just. Now's the time too.
Might as well.
Do the sex. Did you ever read the sex poems?
The ones you post on Instagram? Yeah, dude. What?
Yeah, I know, but they could be really popular, I think.
Yeah, for certain crowds, I think, for sure.
Yeah, because like women spend so much money on them.
There is a whole dark,
Yeah.
what's it called? Fan fiction.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's insane.
You have too much time on your hands if you're doing fan fiction for like Breaking Bad, and it's like the gay fan fiction.
Oh yeah, that's
and
hilarious.
it's so like.
I only knew there was One Direction one that was big, where they were all like, "We had fan fiction for fucking Breaking Bad and it's gay."
I wonder, like, what before the internet? What would these people do? Because obviously that takes a lot of energy, so that must have been pent up in them.
Yeah.
They're like, God, man, I wish there was some gay Breaking Bad fiction. You know, Walter White and Jesse just doing it. God damn it.
You've seen the two, like, there's dinosaur sex poems or sex stories, like on Amazon. They sell a shitload.
What?
Yeah, like a woman having sex with a dinosaur. It's so dumb, but people make a lot of money out of it.
Humans are crazy.
Yeah, I know. Some girl was telling me, she's like, she read one. So like the sex poem started when Malibu was burning like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I saw people posting online like naked pictures of themselves, more or less, on the Malibu beaches.
Yeah.
Being like, wow, this is so sad. I can't believe my Malibu is burning. And it was just like, some girl posted a picture of her fucking ass. And she's like, hey, heads up, my house burnt down. But we evacuated safely. And it's literally a picture of her ass. And then she had like, you could see her hand and she had a watch. And she was like, hey, my house burnt down, but we evacuated safely. Sponsored by Koi watches. And it was like a real post. And I was like, Jesus Christ, these people are insane. So I like wrote a joke poem. Being like, wow, I'm at the beach. Malibu's burning in front of me. Wow, this is so sad. And also making me horny. And just wrote this like dumb story.
Yeah.
Posted on my story, and then women were like, write more. That was good. So I wrote more, and I was like, I'm not writing it unless you pay me. And then women just started like Venmoing me.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, they pay so much money. The most I sold one for was like 740.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why I keep going. Like I made $4,000 a month from writing them. Yeah, I bought a car because of fucking writing these sex, and I'll make them as stupid as I can. I have a book coming out of them, 101 sex poems. I'll have women just send me money for like just to say thank you. They won't even want to read it.
I hate humans sometimes.
At one point, it was like just before this all started, it was being pitched as a TV show, but like a big person. I was just like, I don't even know how you turn into a show, but yeah, work away.
Mark.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I should really. Remember I was saying about finishing stuff? I was like, is it worth to finish it? But I'm like, all right, I'm going to get this book out there and then just see what happens.
Might as well. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Like, I feel like that's okay.
Yeah. But like, it is also, I make him as stupid as I can. I'll be talking about putting plums in a girl's ass, putting a potato in their mouth, trying to make him like so ridiculous. People will be like, oh, I didn't like that one.
Yeah.
And every time I make it more ridiculous, they'll be like, oh my God, that was the best one ever.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's so amazing to me because of the internet, again, how people's sexuality has exploded into the most obscure
Yeah.
corners
Oh, yeah.
of kinks, fetishes. This is not super kinky compared to everything else that's on there, but for some people it's super kinky. Dogging,
Oh, yeah.
which for those of you who don't know what it is, make sure you're over 18 and Google it.
They do that in Ireland, actually.
Yeah. Hey, that's so freaking weird if you really do that
Oh, yeah.
and have strangers come in you. Like, dude, strangers come in you. What?
Yeah, it's in your car or in the bush. Is it a car or bush?
Calling it dogging is so, like...
Oh, yeah. There used to be a place in Ireland. We were like 16 or something, driving around my friend's Mini. And
I'm sorry, are you Googling this right now? No. Oh, I thought you were fucking Googling dogging. I was like, I have to address this right now. Okay. You're like, oh, shit, okay.
you're like, where? His ears picked up. He's like, oh, this is something I'm into.
Bookmark this.
But yeah, we'd go, and there was like, it was like down by the docks. And it was
Yeah.
like a car park or a parking lot, as you call it here. And there'd be cars hanging around and be like, these dirty fuckers. And we'd pull up like we were looking for it. And you see guys put down their windows. And then we'd be like, you fucking creep. They were 16, but like, yeah, dogging's global.
Yeah. It's so weird, man. People say what people get turned on by. There's some cool documentaries, and by cool I mean good character studies, of people being in love with like the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I saw that. I remember watching that when I first came here, hungover. And I was like, these fuckers have love. They're happier than me. And they're fucking a fence.
Their car, the guy with the red car. Did you see that one? The red car one? And he tells his dad, and his dad's like, what?
I saw the whole doc. Yeah, I must have. The girl who was like lying underneath a roller coaster and it was raining.
Oh my God.
And she's like, oh, Frank looked so good today. And it was like a fucking pendulum roller coaster. And there was like oil dripping off it. She's like, he's happy to see me. And she like lays under the roller coaster and there's oil dripping on her face. And she's like, we just had sex.
Dude. When is it okay to go, oh, you're crazy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do feel bad for the parents. And they're just like, that's her hobby. And she's like, it's not a hobby, Mom. I love the Eiffel Tower.
that's so crazy. I'm sorry. Like, I try to be respectful of everybody's, choices, but I guess they're not harming anybody, so I guess that's okay. But they have to know that that's not the norm.
It's funny they're not harming anyone and they're happy. And then you look at other people, you'd be like, you should consider falling in love with the Eiffel Tower. It'll give you meaning. I saw another documentary, like, I can't remember, is it Ecuador or something? Like the young boys will have sex with donkeys.
Yeah.
To figure out like how to make love to a woman.
South America.
Yeah, you're just like, and it's fully normal to them.
Insane.
Yeah.
As you would say, unreal.
Yeah, that's unreal. And the dude who's like married, and he'll be like driving home, and he's like, let's have a little detour. And he'll do a detour to go meet his like mistress, who's a donkey. And he'll just show him. And he's just like on camera, blasé, and I'm just like, there's something for everyone.
There's a great Great. Oh, side note, I would rather have sex with a roller coaster than that heiress you were talking about earlier. 100. Like that's not even a debate in my
Safer.
mind. Yeah, I'll fuck the metal thing. Yeah. It's much safer. I'll get a tetanus shot afterwards, and then I'm all good to go, man.
I'd love to see you randomly drunk one night and you're just making love to a gate. I'm like,
Mark, that heiress hit me up, and I just saw this, and I thought, yeah, you know, man. You want in on this? No? All right.
in Ireland we have sex with our beds growing up.
Huh? I'm sorry, man. What?
You'll just be like, oh, it's kind of cold, and then you just be like in your bed, and you just be like, oh, I'm fucking the bed.
Oh.
I remember, yeah, Jesus.
Wait. You mean like dry humping your...
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, man. That's more detailed. It just sounds like you just got on the side of it. It's just like...
You put a little hole. Yeah, you just dry hump in the bed. You're like, what's going on? What are these feelings?
Oh, my God. There is another documentary, and it was this old video on the internet where they were interviewing this girl and guy, and he was showing her his pony, like a horse pony, and they were secretly both into having sex with horses.
Jesus.
And she was like, you know what? I'm going to see if he's into this.
No way.
And she went down on the horse.
What?
Full,
no way.
Oh, yeah. She was gambling he would be into it. And he was like, jackpot.
Really? Actually?
I promise you, man.
Jesus Christ.
If that's not true love right there,
Yeah.
I don't know what those people were meant to be with each other.
Yeah. How that is. Do you ever see like when really creepy fuckers and they're like they'll fucking kidnap kids together as a couple. And they're like,
yeah, those stories.
and then you're just like, how do they find each other that they're bored into that niche psychotic thing?
That's a great question.
Like even the two with the horse, is that like you're not finding that on Tinder? What are you into? I like horses.
No. I mean, I feel like now it would be more acceptable,
Oh yeah, probably.
but the kidnappers, like
Yeah, like who like slowly brings that up?
how?
Yeah,
That's so dark, dude. That's so fucking dark.
you're like eating a chicken dinner. You're just playing with the peas, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'll try." So I have something to tell you, and you're just like, "Fuck me too." Like that's so weird. To be that mental, and you're like, "Oh fuck yeah, I've been trying to tell you too." And then they bond. They have the best sex of their life, and then they go kidnapping kids.
So dark, man. I bet you that's how it freaking happens.
I can't remember. There's some documentary about the fucking husband and wife in England. I can't remember. Westons or something. And they were so creepy. You're like, how do they find each other?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
The people who like also kill people and eat them together.
Yeah, yeah. How'd you find a fellow cannibal?
Hey, what if we ate
In the
Nancy,
70s
right?
too. Yeah, in the 70s where it's not like online and you met in the fucking weird, like you met a fellow cannibal down the pub.
and like the 70s, you know, like people have been civilized for a little bit. It's not like it's the 1400s where
Yeah.
everybody's like
Jesus,
uneducated and savages. I feel like. Dude, how stupid was like the common person in the 1400s? Really think about that.
I think there's more stupid people in LA now.
You know what?
Yeah.
You make a great point there.
Yeah, they're going to say the same about us in 20 years. How stupid were those people during Corona?
Oh my God, dude. The stupidity sometimes of some people out here is just mind-boggling. It's a lack of care. I don't know. In Ireland, is it more of a community? Do you feel like that?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like they kind of, there's always the handful who are like, oh, you're fucking idiots.
Of course.
But like more or less in Ireland when this all started, everyone was like, all right, we need to do this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Especially like pubs shutting down. You would never think that would happen in Ireland. And then they were meant to reopen and they shut down again. And no one freaked. Whereas here, you just started freaking fucking early. Be like, it's a conspiracy. And you're just like, for fuck's sake.
You know what I think the problem is with America? Since it's such like a, I think hodgepodge is the correct, like a mixing pot,
Yeah.
excuse me, of cultures, of people. and there is no sense of culture. Like, what is American culture? It changes from East Coast, Middle America. You go up north
Yeah.
towards the Great Lakes. You go into the Rockies. It's different there. Culture's different. The West Coast, it's different.
Yeah, it's so big.
Yeah, exactly. And you got a bunch of like different people from different ethnic groups coming in, and then you have people who are conservative in their views and liberal, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's too many people here to
Yeah.
agree on most things.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like in America too, if you like caring is almost weak. Like, so if you're like, oh yeah, let's do it together, you're like, nah, this is weakness. I don't know. It's definitely so big. You can't like expect. You'd hope everyone would pull together, but it's so like America's so fucking big. So even if you were to be like, oh, France is not as weird as America, because in Europe a lot will be like, well, Americans are so weird. Like we'll see some of your weird people here, and you're like, you go extra weird. But if you were to take all of Europe, like America, you'd be like, oh yeah, Europe's kind of weird too. It's so fucking big here.
Yeah. The United States of America, I mean, when you really think about it, it's 50 states trying to
Yeah,
be on
that's
board
like
on
a
the same.
country in every fucking in Europe.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. And so that's why I'm always like, nobody's here united with an underlying foundation of things. The only thing is freedom. And it's like, I'm entitled to that. It's
Yeah.
like, are you utilizing it the right way though?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's tough,
freedom
though.
without education
Yeah.
is also a dangerous thing, which is everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the dumbness is the key.
I don't know, man. It's I hope things get better. I hope people. I don't know. It takes first of all, it takes more energy to hate somebody. You know,
But like, yeah,
and then
it's education. I remember like going back to weird documentaries. I saw there's one about. It's on YouTube. It's like 12 minutes about fucking this incest family,
oh okay.
and a dude shows up, and they're all fucking. And one dude is like, cause he's incest, he doesn't talk, he just barks. You hear a dog barking, and there's a guy like gapped. He's exactly what you think as an incest guy.
Is it in Virginia? Like
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've seen the same things.
And the dude is just barking for answers, and you're just like, they just don't know any better. Like no one's been like, oh, you should stop fucking each other. And they're like, it's such the house they live in. I would fucking if you were brought there, that's a proper house. Like everyone's. A girl I know sent it to me, and I was like, why did you make me watch that? She's like, it's even worse when you realize they're all gonna have sex after the cameraman leaves. And it's like a mother, a sister, their sons, the dad. Yeah, it's
So hot,
Yeah.
right? I mean, wait, what are you talking about?
that's a good Friday night in.
The incest people who had sex with each other so many times their skin started to turn blue.
Really?
Yeah,
Jesus.
some condition happened to them where
No way.
they were called the blue people
Jesus.
of like the Appalachians or some place.
Oh
up there.
yeah, that's the same place as this weird crowd.
Yeah. Guys, stop fucking each other. You're turning blue. Please stop.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck is going on? Dude, humans are the most insane thing ever.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's full on. Jesus.
What we do is so backwards sometimes, and at other times it's so beautiful what some people do. And oh my God, they're expressing true love, through art, through helping people, through generosity. You're like, holy shit.
True
and then you
habits.
have like
Sex
this
with their
heiress who's like,
Yeah, no. It's a great place though.
yeah. Dude, I know you have crazy heartburn. I don't want to take too much of your time. Seriously, man, it was such a blast to have on. You're welcome back anytime to plug
yeah.
anything you do, man.
Nice one.
Yeah, and
I'll come back reading some sex poems.
oh yeah, whenever your book comes out, that would be actually that'd be wonderful. We'll do like that'd be wonderful. Yeah. Any shows or you want to plug anything else real quick before we go?
No, I'm good.
Your podcast?
Oh, yeah, Randumb podcast. It's on iTunes, anywhere.
Yeah. Is that ever gonna go on video or just?
Yeah, I just get lazy. I'll do it all right. Yeah. That's what I'd be. Yeah, I should just buy a camera. Yeah, I'm just lazy.
It's like
With this, I like just being able to plug in, ramble, black out, and then I'm done.
That's fair. Do you have anybody else? You do all the uploading, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Keep the work to a minimum. All right, dude. Thanks for coming
Cheers,
on.
lads.
And
Thanks for having me.
Peyton. Let's play us out. Let's thank Adobe Radio. Let's thank Nice Guy Digital. Thank you, Peyton, for all the hard work you do on the show. Thank you, Alexander Gorski. Thank you, Mark Hayes. Be sure you follow him. Thank you to all of our new subscribers on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and for those of you who wrote new reviews for us on iTunes. We really appreciate you guys. And yeah, it's been a great week. My phone is blowing up, so that makes me feel not anxious at all. And yeah, always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye.